From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Good Monday morning. It's 5 o'clock. Welcome to Montana This Morning. I'm Victoria Hill. Thank you so much for starting your day and the week with us. We begin in Washington, D.C., where negotiations continue between Democrats working on President Joe Biden's Build Back Better agenda. The nearly $2 trillion bill covers everything from climate change to child care and would be paid for largely by raising taxes on billionaires. CBS's Laura Podesta has details, including why the president spent the week celebrating.
The motion is adopted.
Congress passed an infrastructure bill with a bipartisan vote late Friday night.
Infrastructure Week.
President Biden expects to have shovels in the ground in 2 to 3 months.
And for all of you at home who feel left behind and forgotten in an economy that's changing so rapidly, this bill is for you. The vast majority of the thousands of jobs that will be created don't require a college degree. There'll be jobs in every part of the country.
The bill provides money for roads, highways, and rail lines. It also funds expanding broadband internet access, replacing unsafe lead pipes, and providing charging stations for electric vehicles.
We've got to implement it right, and then we have to go out and sell our success.
Lawmakers now turn their full attention to the president's Build Back Better agenda. The current version includes money for climate change, universal pre-K, and prescription drug reform. Senator Tim Kaine says Democrats need to deliver in hopes of avoiding the same election losses they suffered last week, most notably in Virginia.
We should have passed these bills in early October. If we had, it would have helped Terry McAuliffe probably win the governor's race.
No Republicans have come out in support of the plan, often arguing it's government overreach.
We're going to do everything we can to stop it dead in its tracks.
Democrats hope to pass the bill by Thanksgiving. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
And now over in Roosevelt County, the sheriff's office is investigating a weekend shooting at a casino that left 3 people dead. Authorities say the crime was likely a double murder-suicide and all 3 people knew each other. It happened at the State Line Casino in Bainville Saturday night. The names of the 3 people killed have not been released. Well, the saying goes, never judge a book by its cover. Unfortunately, it's happened one too many times to a Billings man who just wants to say hi. I've encountered him myself when I shop on Billings West End and wanted to get to know the story behind a familiar face and the reason for his helpful, positive personality.
A trip to TJ Maxx.
Have a nice day.
Or the Dollar Tree.
How are you doing?
And you'll likely be greeted by this face.
Are you going in? Can I get the dough for you?
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
Matthew Saunders.
When I was in second grade, I always done the same thing I'm doing right now, is saying hi to people. Good morning.
A heartfelt greeting for each customer. It was just a matter of time until the 2 stores took notice.
Before Matt worked here, he would just come and help all the time, and so we just thought, well, you might as well apply and work here, get paid.
The 29-year-old takes pride in his work.
If somebody's really kind and puts me really in a good mood.
But that mood can quickly be crushed.
A lot of the time I feel like I am misunderstood because I have a disability.
The Special Olympics athlete has cognitive delays, processing disorder, and slight autism.
I just tell them hey, look, I'm special needs and I don't mean to come on strong.
Sometimes mistaken as homeless, it's actually a group he helps.
I took care of homeless people. I fed them. I bought them food and stuff.
I've seen him come and buy a drink for other homeless people out here.
Working 2 jobs and living in his own apartment, it's a misunderstanding that hurts. But through it all, kindness prevails.
He talks to me a lot, and a lot of times he always talks about how he gets bullied and how people aren't very nice to him.
Mary met Matthew the way many others have come to know him.
I've seen him around for the last few years, and I always see him walking. So one day he came over and said, hey, I'm Matthew, and I said, hey, I'm Mary, it's nice to meet you.
Determined to help others understand, Matthew and Mary teamed up. With the help of a neighbor, Matthew had this shirt made at the mall. I am special needs. I am autistic. I am not homeless. Sorry for being misunderstood.
Maybe that will help people to understand me more.
And it didn't stop there. He asked Mary to help him create a social media post.
I was surprised how quickly it took off and how recognizable he is. I feel like everybody knows him or has seen him.
141 courteous comments and more than 1,200 likes. This time, the people showed up for Matthew the way he shows up for them.
I think we just need to start talking to one another and helping one another and being there for each other, because I think that's what community is all about. And he definitely portrays that.
A greeting we can all learn from.
You have the most beautiful day.
Oh, Matthew's so great. I'm so glad I got to do this story with him, because I don't know how many times I saw him at TJ Maxx or the dollar store, and he's actually helped me to my car and took my cart back to the store. And so when I saw that social media post, I'm like, I got to do a story on this guy.
Yeah,
and I'm glad I did.
He's actually opened the door for me before.
Oh, see, there you go.
Over at the Target area over there.
Yeah,
Wow,
exactly.
what a great story.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Wow, Matthew, my man. All right.
he's famous now. He
That
was
is
wondering
so
when it was
cool.
going to air, but yeah, there we have it. So tell us about the weather. I mean, this weekend didn't seem too bad.
It was very nice. We're going to stay a little bit above average for the next couple of days, but we've got an Alberta clipper that's going to be dropping through Wednesday morning, and that's going to change things up a bit. It's going to bring those temperatures back down to seasonal, and maybe we could possibly see some snow, and we'll tell you all about that with the main forecast coming up. Chilly out there right now, sitting at 34 at the airport. Feels like 29, humidity at 48%, winds out of southwest at about 6 miles an hour. Love to crunch those numbers. Yesterday's high, boom, right on target where we should be. Got up to a 49. We were a little milder than normal in the morning. It's a bit windy yesterday. We're going to still deal with some winds, especially on Wednesday, and I'll explain why that would be the case. Of course, we haven't seen a lot of rain this month, but we do have a shot to see some of that moisture finally coming back in, maybe tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. And again, we could see some snow with that. Temperatures out there right now in the 20s and 30s, highs today in the 40s and 50s. It is going to be a quiet day. Hey, clear skies this morning, and that's good news, because you do have a chance to see the International Space Station coming up here in less than 15 minutes. It's only going to be visible for about 3 minutes. And do me a favor, if you get a photo, send it in. We'll try to show it off this morning.
All right, that's pretty cool. I still have yet to step out and see it myself.
It's pretty cool. You can barely just see it sliding across, but there it is.
Bright
It's pretty
light.
neat.
All right, awesome, Miller. Thank you so much. I'll get back to news.
Okay.
Police are in the early stages of investigating a concert stampede that left 8 people dead and hundreds injured. As Laura Podesta reports, it happened at a music festival in Texas over the weekend.
Video shows the jam-packed crowd at the Astro World Festival in Houston Friday. As rapper Travis Scott took to the stage, panic and chaos as the crowd of more than 50,000 rushed forward. 8 people died, hundreds more were injured.
Our family is grieving for my brother Danish. He died saving his fiance.
This family says Scott and the concert promoter Live Nation should be held accountable. Scott did stop his set to help someone in the crowd, but started again soon after and continued for almost 40 minutes after a mass casualty event had been declared and paramedics tried to drive in to reach victims.
He just continues to play, and then literally you see like the cars just can't move because everyone just starts jumping.
The rapper released a video statement on his Instagram page saying he was unaware of the situation in the crowd.
We're actually working right now to identify the families so we can help assist them through this tough time.
Scott also said he's cooperating with the Houston Police and Fire Department. The fire chief insists the event cleared out quickly following the tragedy, proving exits were open.
The doors were kept open, unobstructed. That was our assurance. What we're looking into is what caused the crowd surge, what led to the crowd surge and those incidents.
Houston's mayor told the New York Times Astroworld had more security than the World Series. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Authorities say the deceased ranged from 27 to as young as 14 years old. On 2 separate occasions, Scott has pled guilty to charges related to inciting disorderly conduct from fans at his concerts. Today, the U.S. begins lifting travel restrictions on visitors from a number of countries, including Canada and Mexico. Almost everyone entering the U.S. must be vaccinated and provide proof of a negative COVID test. The U.S. closed borders close to 20 months ago in hopes of containing the pandemic. Some people that pay federal taxes in the U.S. don't have access to federal benefits. Those people live in Puerto Rico. Reporter Joe St. George has more on a court case that could change policies for millions.
By now, it's clear the country won't be adding any more stars to the flag anytime soon. Efforts to make Washington, D.C., as well as Puerto Rico, official states have stalled in Congress. However, while D.C. citizens still have access to many government programs that citizens of all the 50 states enjoy, Puerto Ricans are ineligible for many. Take, for instance, Supplemental Security Income, SSI. It's a program that helps Americans with illnesses or disabilities get by. Those who live in D.C. qualify for it, but those who live in Puerto Rico do not, even though people in both places pay federal taxes. Why? When Congress passed SSI decades ago, they didn't include the island. Well, the debate over the rights of Puerto Ricans will be front and center at the Supreme Court this week. The case is called the United States versus Falleo Madero. Oral arguments are on Tuesday. It's about a man named Jose Luis Falleo Madero. In 2013, he moved from his home of 28 years in New York back to Puerto Rico, and when he became ill, he filed for SSI benefits. If he moved to, let's say, Florida, would have been no problem. But when the Social Security Administration learned where he moved, they cut him off from the program and demanded he pay back $28,000 worth of benefits he'd already received. The Biden administration is split on this issue. The president has issued statements calling for Puerto Ricans to be covered by government programs. There can be no second-class citizens, he said. But President Biden's Justice Department has done the opposite, actually arguing against Puerto Ricans in court. The Constitution vests Congress, not the courts, with responsibility for making appropriate changes, attorneys wrote in legal briefs. While the High Court is not expected to issue an opinion on this case for months, the outcome could dramatically change what Puerto Rico's 3 million-plus residents are entitled to, potentially making government programs even more costly to American taxpayers since more people would be eligible to enroll. In Washington, I'm Joe St. George.
And today, the Supreme Court will hear a case challenging how the federal government tries to get lawsuits thrown out. A group of Muslim men claim the FBI spied on hundreds following 9/11, but accuse the government of targeting them because of their faith. Their case challenges the government's ability to get cases like this thrown out by claiming they would reveal state secrets. A lower court already dismissed most of their claims based on the government's national security argument. President Joe Biden's vaccine mandates face a new challenge before it takes effect in early January. A federal appeals court in Louisiana temporarily halted the requirement that companies with 100 or more employees ensure they are vaccinated or test for COVID weekly. The administration says it is confident the rule will withstand legal challenges. Veterans Day is this week, and some Wyoming middle schoolers are making sure the vets in their community are properly honored. Q2's David J. has a story.
Tongue River Middle School in Ranchester, Wyoming will unveil a $250,000 monument at a Veterans Day assembly on Thursday. We had a chance to talk with the principal about the patriotism and the appreciation students have for those who have served the country. The idea for the Tongue River Valley Veterans Memorial came from 8th graders.
We have a long tradition of really going above and beyond on our Veterans Day assembly. Last year, our 8th grade students, now 9th graders, kind of wanted to take it a step further and do something that would be valued year after year after year.
Jeff Jones, principal at Tongue River Middle School, says the students raised the $250,000 to build the monument. Some of the fundraising money comes from in-kind donations for construction from those in the community.
One of those values that's pretty entrenched in our community is to show respect for our flag, our veterans, and just being patriotic.
Principal Jones also credits social studies teacher Robert Griffin.
He is a veteran. It's important to him to help the kids understand the sacrifice and the leadership that it takes to be able to serve in the military, and also what we benefit from that as people that are currently living in the best country in the world.
And the lessons go beyond Mr. Griffin's class.
It's really important for us to keep reminding the students that as much as we're proud of what they have created, they are able to understand that the value of all of this is that we're shining a spotlight on the people that deserve it, and those are the heroes, the veterans of our community.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
Thank you very much, David, and thank you for starting your day with us here on Montana This Morning.